Welcome to Real Time, Florida Sportsman. This week, we're bass fishing. It's time to find the shortest route to the hottest bite. We scan Florida Sportsman's regional forums for the best fishing reports, then travel to make real anglers our local guides.
Give me some of that!
Together, we let you in on secret spots and hometown moves.
That's what I'm talking about!
Oh yeah, she's done for now.
This week, it's all about bass. First, we hook up the Triton, head to Central Florida for some sweetwater largemouth.
Nice fish!
Big
Giant
fish! Big fish!
Then we switch gears and head down to Miami to catch some exotic peacocks.
Get it! Nice fish!
Oh, that's a good one.
What a cool fish.
All coming up on Real Time, Florida Sportsman. So we did something totally different. We left the saltwater, headed for the sweetwater. Freshwater largemouth bass fishing in the Harris chain of lakes, specifically Lake Eustis and Haines Creek. So I met our guest host, Thomas Venuti, aka LC Hunter 86, in the freshwater section of the Florida Sportsman Forum. First thing before the sun came up. Following his reports, I know he's on an early morning bite. We went over the gear, got our coffees, and launched the Triton at the Buzzard Beach boat ramp on Lake Eustis.
All right, so we're in Lake Eustis, the Harris chain of lakes, middle of the state of Florida, about 2.5, 3 hour drive for us. You've been bass fishing, this is Thomas, LC Hunter 86 on the forum. You've been bass fishing, doing some tournaments. What do you have in store for us today?
Today we're going to start off here in the gator hole, throwing the crankbaits. As the sun gets up a little bit, we'll probably move around the chain, maybe look for some spawning bass on the beds, a little flipping, pitching.
Spawning fish on the beds, like I know what that means. I have no idea. Last time I threw one of these was 15 years ago.
Hopefully you'll find out. Hopefully.
Let's do it.
Hopefully.
All right, so 3 casts, and he's got a fish.
Little guy.
Little baby. Look at that, man. There are fish here.
Sure. Hey, it's a fish. Actually.
So the first spot at the gator hole was an early morning spot. He was hoping to catch some big bass. We got the one, but it really wasn't producing what he had hoped for, so we decided to make the move and head over to Haines Creek. So heading into Haines Creek, our techniques were going to change. We're actually putting the crankbaits down and picking up the weedless worm to flip. And what this is actually kind of short cast, real precise casting though. Let me tell you, the guys that are good at this can actually probably put a worm in a soda can at 20 yards away. So you've been fishing this chain of lakes your whole life?
Yeah, I pretty much grew up in Eustis. Eustis borders the central lake on this chain, Lake Eustis. So yep, been out here I've been fishing this chain for probably 12 years now.
And it's made up of how many lakes? 5 lakes?
9.
9 lakes.
9 different lakes. They're connected between canals and creeks like this.
Nice fish!
Big
Giant
fish!
fish!
Big fish! Oh! That was an 8 or 9 pounder.
Let me tell you what, you can't tell probably from the footage, but that thing was a giant. That's just what I needed first thing in the morning to get my blood pumping. That thing was giant.
Barely had him hooked.
That bass just ran that bait right up on the lily pad. I guess it's better to be on a lily pad than being down there. There's one. The last one you hooked would have ate that one.
Yeah, he would have ate 3 of these.
That's it.
Like redfish.
How many spots the bass have? My turn. This is so cool. You can actually see these fish moving through the grass. If you pay attention to the grass.
Seems like he's facing to the right. Get that thing on their nose. Oh, he's got it.
There he is.
There he goes.
Huh?
All right.
I can catch him.
That's neat though, seeing him in the grass like that.
I saw that grass reed move. Fishing in this grass, I see the grass move, I throw right on top of it. Of course it's a baby, but it's my first one.
It's a fish.
You know, flipping these worms into this cover, it takes a lot of patience and it takes a lot of finesse. Really, you just want to kick it in there, let it sink down to the bottom, And really, you gotta fish it so slow, you actually want that bass to pick it up and start swimming away with it. It takes a lot of patience.
There he is.
Oh,
Oh!
that was a good one. That was a good one. Well, yeah, we're using a little bit light tackle for up in that grass. But they're bass though, aren't they?
So we caught some small ones and lost some big ones. It had been years since I used a bait caster, and this worm bite is so subtle, so different than saltwater fishing, but I'm getting back in my groove.
That's him. Little guy.
Yeah, little guy. Little guy. Not what we're after.
Tom wanted to make a move, so we decided to head up some residential canals where he's been having some great success.
All right, so we were in Haines Creek. We had a little success, lost a giant fish. We're moving. We're gonna go through this series of locks here.
Yeah, we have a lock right here. It's in the dead center of Haines Creek. It goes to the Lake Griffin side of Haines Creek. So we're gonna try to do some flipping and pitching in the grass and pads over here on the other side.
So Lake Griffin's about 4 feet lower than Lake Eustis, hence the reason we had to go through the locks. The Lake Griffin's definitely not as developed as Lake Eustis, a lot more like old Florida. You know, the water was really clear and unfortunately just weren't getting the bite.
This segment is brought to you by Spiderwire. Nothing gets away.
Spiderwire Ultra Cast, the strongest, thinnest, most sensitive line for the most aggressive anglers. Made with Dyneema, the world's strongest fibers. Enhanced casting and special color lock technology won't fade or rub off. Teflon pressure treated to shoot through your guides like a bullet. Its unique microfiber construction won't cut guides and resist digging in on reels. Wide range of sizes up to 250 pounds and multiple colors. Look for it at your local tackle shop. So we're on the move again, weaving our way in and out through Haines Creek, into the lock, heading back to the original spot where Tom had lost that giant largemouth first thing in the morning. I kid you not, that same exact patch of grass where Thomas lost that giant largemouth first thing this morning, I hook up on the first cast.
That's her. That's her.
She was on a bed.
That's her. Big fish. Big fish. Same spot we lost probably 9-pounder this morning. Flip in there. And this one eats. That's what I saw on your post right there. Oh. And he hooked one this morning that made this one look small. But I'll tell you what, man, what a great fish.
Yeah, it's a good 4-pounder.
Dude, I flipped in there and all of a sudden that line just felt like I hooked the bottom. Did you see me?
Yeah.
I was just like.
And I saw your rod.
You see it move a little bit?
Yeah,
I said, oh. Because to tell you the truth, I really don't know what I'm feeling for.
Sweet.
Woo, that was the one I was looking for. Do I need to get down there and get him? Oh, don't let him jump. Oh yeah. Not quite as big as the last one, but a good fish.
Same exact spot as the last one. Get the 3-pounder. Get this thing back in the water.
So we started fishing this stretch. This is the first stretch that we fished this morning, lost a big fish. And you know, we moved and tried some other stuff and nothing, and we thought to ourselves, why leave fish to find fish? We came back to the same exact spot. We lost a 9-pounder this morning. Pulled what, a 4 and then a 3.
back to back, same exact spot. That should tell you when you find them, don't leave them. Incredible. And I'm sure there's more in there. There's a good fish. I feel like those bass guys, oh, please stay on. Oh, please stay on. But I ain't fishing for $1 million or $100,000 or nothing. God, I can imagine if this was like $200,000, what it would feel like.
That's a big fish.
Ate right into that lily pad, flipped under there, bounced it once.
All right. Hey, watch this.
Yeah, well, that's why you stay tight to them.
Nice.
God, that's my biggest bass probably since I was a kid.
That's a good 6.5.
That is a good fish, wow. That's why we came out here, Lake Eustis. What a fatty. Off he goes.
Awesome, man.
Way to put me on him, man. Wow. Okay, now I'm getting into it. Sometimes I watch these guys on television, I think they're a little over dramatic, but something about it, flipping to that heavy structure, every fish you hook, you think's a giant. There he is, big fish. Oh no, God, every fish is a big fish.
That's still a good one though, it's still a 3-pounder.
Another quality fish. I'm on a pattern. Lily pads. Living on the coast of Florida my whole life next to the salt water, I probably ignored this bass fishery for way too long. It's such a unique fishery. From the techniques, to the patterns, to the locations that you go to catch these fish. It's like learning how to fish all over again, and it's really got me hooked.
Go home.
Just working our way down, he's coming up. Nice fish. Working our way down this bank. Oh yeah!
That's a 6-pounder.
You know what? We missed a big fish this morning. We are making up for it now. What is that, about 6? Thomas Venuti, aka LC Hunter 86, in the freshwater section of the Florida Sportsman Forum, showed me the best of the bass fishing on the Harris Chain of Lakes. But you know what? This isn't the only type of bass fishing that goes on in the state of Florida. We also got a crazy exotic peacock bass fishery down in Miami.
This segment is brought to you by Triton Boats by Earl Bentz. We take America fishing.
Fishing means long runs over open, often rough water, quietly approaching monster fish in the shallows, trolling the depths with a frisky live bait for a trophy of a lifetime. The Triton LTS is a bay boat with a big water attitude. It's built to handle every facet of fishing, including the catching part. No other boat fishes, performs, and fuels your angling passion like a genuine Triton LTS. Fish hard, fish fast, fish far aboard a Triton LTS. See us today at your local Triton dealer or visit us at tritonboats.com. So Florida is pretty well known for its largemouth bass fishery, but what a lot of people don't probably realize is that in South Florida they got something really unique going on. Exotic peacock bass. Now these things were introduced in the mid-80s to fight off the invasive species of smaller fish, and it's really become a sought-after targeted species on inshore freshwater lakes and canals. I lived in Florida my whole life and I've never even fished for these peacock bass. So I loaded up with Jonathan Earhart, aka Captain Chaos, in the southeast section of the Florida Sportsman Forum and headed south. So we got to the boat ramp at the Blue Lagoon just as the sun was rising and launched the Triton. All right, we're with John Earhart, Captain Chaos in the Forum. We're down here in the heart of Miami, right next to the airport. Planes taking off, interstate. You brought me down here. I saw your post of peacock bass fish. What do you got planned for us?
I want to fish with some artificials this morning. You know, start out with the early topwater bite, then maybe progressively move into the live bait, you know, fish under the bridges, kind of fish some structure and see if we can get some of those bigger peacocks today.
Well, I've never caught a peacock bass before. I've seen them on the post and seen them on some shows before. I'm excited. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Jonathan had mentioned that he'd been fishing near the airport, but I didn't think he meant literally at the end of the runway. So you were saying this Blue Lagoon, it's a pretty big body of water.
Yeah, we got, you know, this is the south end of the lagoon. And then, you know, the north runs way up and it dumps into a couple other lakes. So, I mean, it's all interconnecting. You know, there's a few locks here and there, so you can't motor all throughout of it. But this area right here is probably the best. I catch the most peacocks here in the summertime.
I feel like if you're here, you're going to be able to see them.
Yeah, even when it rains, it stays nice and clear in here, surprisingly. I just need to see some fish now.
I mean, look at that tree hanging over. What is it?
Looks like a largemouth.
That's not a bad bass right there.
That's a good fish.
It's not the peacock, but it's still a bass.
It's not a bad bass at all, man, for South Miami.
The morning started kind of slow. Jonathan got that nice largemouth, but we decided to switch techniques up, go from the artificial, switch over to live bait, and head over to one of the local bridges.
So just throw them up here along the pilings, let them swim down to the bottom?
Yeah, just get it as close to the structure as you can because they're holding on the structure kind of similar to snook fishing and Stewart.
Okay.
You know, you want to just get it right on top of that structure. Here we go, George. Little snook.
Are you kidding me? Dude,
Didn't I say it was similar to snook fishing?
So apparently snook like shiners.
Apparently.
That bait was getting nervous. Now I see why he was getting nervous. Mr. Linesider was down there waiting on him.
Little peacock
Little
bass.
baby peacock. Oh, that's him right
maybe
there.
not. Might be a little chitlid.
That is an exotic looking thing. What is that?
I believe this is a cichlid. Cichlid's what they call them. That's about the average size.
Suddenly that bite turns on. You know, I get that snook bite, Jonathan gets that cichlid, but then the bite comes that we've been waiting for. He gets the peacock.
Oh, that's why we came. That's why we came.
There we go.
Oh, what an exotic looking fish. Oh man, look at him in the sun. What a cool looking fish. Look at the colors on that thing.
The butterfly peacock bass. That's honestly one of my favorite freshwater fish to catch.
So we start cruising down the bank with the trolling motor looking for fish. I actually sight one cruising down the bank. I get the perfect cast with the shiner and I get my first peacock bite. Woo!
Oh yeah. Oranges and yellows and greens on that fish. You're right, that's such a pronounced hump there.
Yeah, look at that. That's crazy.
Man, real time.
Real time, baby.
This segment is brought to you by Maui Jim. Welcome to color.
I'm on the water over 250 days a year, and my eyes are important to me. Maui Jim has always been my sunglass of choice. All Maui Jim sunglasses featured patent polarized +2 technology with color enhancers. Really what that means is it allows the good visible light in while blocking out the glare. Maui Jim offers 4 different colors of polarized +2 lenses. My personal favorite is the HCL Bronze and the new Maui HT. The new Maui HT lens is an awesome color for the water. It allows the most amount of contrast between the water and the fish. Maui Jim has multiple lens colors and styles to suit your fishing needs. Go try them on at any West Marine or your local tackle store.
Next thing you know, we see this male and female peacock bass actually swimming down the bank. You can see these two fish swimming together. Jonathan gets the perfect cast with a shiner, and the male actually attacks his shiner, mouths it, and immediately drops it. Jonathan goes back, gets another fresh live bait, makes the perfect cast again, and he's on to that male peacock.
Oh,
He ate it, he ate it. Nice fish.
Oh, that's a good one.
Nice fish. What a take. Great job. He was laying right on that wall. Oh, and he jumped.
Woo. Yeah, the males always tend to jump more than the females. Must be all that testosterone. Look at that hump. That's a beautiful fish right there.
Oh,
Barely hooked.
what a cool fish, man.
Man, look at
Look
that.
at that.
That is crazy.
Saw him laying in there with that female going down the shore. Threw that bait in there.
Wow.
Like I said, these are exotic peacock bass that were introduced in the early 80s into Miami to control the non-native species of fish. They've really flourished well in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties in the canals and lake systems. As these peacock bass have flourished, they've really become a targeted species for fishermen. They make a great game fish.
So we're just using a basic 15-pound braid, 20-pound fluorocarbon, size 1 hook, just real basic stuff, you know?
Yeah,
some
and
store-bought shiners, and you're getting some bites on some gulps. You know, the topwater bite was a little slow, I think, because of the moon phase. They're starting to chew now.
Yeah, and like I said before, you know, I've always done better. You know, the higher the sun is in the sky, the more light that you can just see these fish right up on the beds, and you just cast right to them, let the shiner swim to them, and you're in like Flint.
Yeah, that's usually opposite of everything, you know. Usually most fish chew low light, first thing in the morning, late in the evening.
So finally I find one sitting on a bed. This is what I envisioned, this is what I had hoped for. I know that if I get the cast in the right spot, this thing is gonna eat anything that comes near it. And it happens. I throw my shiner in there and it doesn't take long, that peacock annihilates them.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Not a big one, but that was a cool take. Sitting on that bed.
Perfect execution.
Bring it right to you. What a cool fish.
So it's getting to be the hottest part of the day. The sun's getting really high and the bite's slowing down. But on the way back, Jonathan wants to stop at one last spot, one last bridge to give it a try.
What you got? Snook. What do you eat, the Rapala?
Yeah, trusty diver. Who would have thought? Freshwater snooking.
Well, I'll tell you what. I saw the posts. We're supposed to be catching peacock. We caught the peacock.
I
We caught
know.
more. We probably caught 5 or 6 different species of fish. Great, you know, day of fishing. About 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, half day. So wrap it up, man. It's been a great
I
one.
know, man. I can't believe it.
Thanks for taking me down here and showing it to me.
So I can cross another species off my list. I got my peacock bass. You know, from the Harris chain of lakes in the middle of central Florida down to Miami, the bass fishery in Florida is almost as diverse as a saltwater fishery. Both these guys taught me things that I can use in the future in fresh and salt water. It was because of their reports that I chose them to fish with, and I need your posts to continue, because I may fish with you next on Real Time Florida Sportsman.
Is this something unique to this area, the purple worms that you guys have in this lake?
It's a good thing this is a no wake zone, George.
If you spend a lot of time on the water fishing, your rod is your ultimate tool. Penn's Blue Water Carnage and Legion inshore rods are designed and balanced for optimum performance when paired with a Penn reel. These rods feature a composite graphite blank that includes a carbon shield built into the blank and guide wraps for enhanced performance. Carnage rods feature EVA torque grips that are contoured to fit the hand perfectly and prevent the rod from twisting while under a heavy load. Penn Legion inshore rods have grade A cork handles on lighter action rods, and the heavy action rods have sculpted EVA handles. Both series feature Fuji stainless steel frame guides. If you seek a high performance, durable, affordable rod, Penn Carnage and Legion Inshore series should be your choice.